Welcome to another episode of the E-commerce Lab by Econsi, the place of everything related to Amazon FBA private label and e-commerce. My name is Vincenzo Toscano, founder and CEO of Ecomsi, and today we bring you Talor, Ofer, who is the founder and CEO of Retail Empire, where they specialize on everything that you need to do as an Amazon brand to start selling your products into retail shops. So I know this is a very interesting topic because in e-commerce, we always focus around, selling your products online and everything online. But at the same time, I totally agree. And I know for a fact that there is so much potential when it comes to taking your products into retailers. And that's why, Tyler, I wanted to have you here today because I know you have extensive experience around that field. So it's a pleasure to have you here, Tyler. And how are you doing today, my friend?
Very good. Thanks for having me today. It's a pleasure being with you. Yes, I'll give you like a quick brief about myself.
Sure.
I've been
Thank you.
working with thank you. I've been working with the retailers for the last 20 years. That's what I do. Started my road back in Asia. I was 12 years producing for companies like Walmart, BCBG, and Costco. And I was doing a lot of garments, but I also managed to establish one electric appliances brand of my own, and I sold it to Costco in Canada. And that was the first time when I understood the real potential of retail. I was already working with Walmart, but then when it came to Costco, I said, okay, this is the second retailer I'm working with.
Yeah.
And we're talking about 2002, 3, 4, even 5. That was the beginning. And I've started to see a lot of people moving slowly, but still moving to the e-commerce side.
Okay.
But you're talking about Alibaba those days, and you're talking about madeinchina.com and companies like that. Amazon was not in the field yet, but it came later, a few years later. But I've seen things happening. But then I established my own tech accessories brand, which I also managed to sell to retailers in the States. We reached out with this to 60 retailers selling on their shelves, on the retail spaces. And that was like a signature on this area for me, saying like, okay, I looked at it and I said, there's no point for me to try e-commerce or online because, this is my field. That's what I do. And I know the best. That's the best thing I know how to do. So I continue with that. And since 2017, I started to take Amazon sellers to this journey of moving their brand from an online brand to become an offline brand as well. Offline means, not it's off anywhere, but offline means like physical stores. Just for the for the protocol, I would say, right now in the USA, there are more than 2 million physical stores, brick and mortar stores. Now we're not talking about, laundry stores. I'm talking about stores that are selling products, merchandise. Okay. So more than 2 million. This is the number. There are approximately almost 30,000 retailers across the US. A retailer could be 35, 40 stores.
Okay.
Like Von Maur, for instance, it could be 800 stores like Macy's, a bit less. It could be TJ Maxx with 4,000 pieces, CVS with 9,900, or even Dollar Tree with 16,000
Target.
stores.
Yeah.
Or Target, yeah. So the range is very big, but usually when we're talking about retailer, we're talking about at least a few hundreds of stores, like Bastro, 170 stores, Cabillas, who belong to the same company with 180 stores and so forth. So yeah, still in the numbers, just so that people would know, to those who are not aware to that, if you take the whole e-commerce in the United States, including Amazon, all the marketplaces, and the small website, big website, all the e-commerce is not taking more than 15% of the market. That means that 85% of the market is not on your plate as a vendor, as an e-commerce vendor, Amazon vendor, Walmart vendor, whatever vendor you are. If you're not doing retail, you are ignoring 85% of the market.
That's very interesting because I think most people think that e-commerce is the opposite, it's the biggest, but it's good that you bring that to the table so people can see the huge difference. Yeah.
It's the power of the media. The media makes you believe in things that not necessarily
the Amazon is everything. The Amazon is everything.
Exactly. Everybody talks. I mean, Amazon is huge, but this is only one channel. Not to mention that, we all know that you can wake up as an Amazon seller in the morning, and then you might get a message, hopefully not, but you might get a message like,
You're
hey,
done.
you're off. Your listing is off because whatever, you didn't write on the product that it's whatever with chemicals. And then go find a way, to figure out how to do it, to get it back to be live. And then you have lawyers and expenses and time being wasted, and your whole business is on Amazon or your whole business on your Shopify store. That's dangerous. So a lot of Amazon sellers in the last few years are approaching our company, Retail Empire, to make this move. So I would like to share some information today for those who wants to do it themselves. And I mean, if you want to ask me questions, you can go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. I think the first question that for sure I have already on the top of my head is basically what are the key considerations somebody needs to have before even approaching a retailer, because it's nice and great to think about going to putting your products into retailer, but the reality is that you need to meet certain criteria and take something in consideration before doing so. So maybe you can give some insights around that.
Yeah, definitely. So I divided myself to 6 blocks. I like it when it's points,
Okay.
I don't know why, but in any conversation that I have, both
it's
with
easier.
my partner, I'm always like number 1, number 2, number 3, but it's easier like that. So 6 parts. So the first part would be the brief. The brief means like a short text of you describing your brand. So if I'm selling whatever, if I'm selling beautiful wooden chairs, I need to describe the brand not as a wooden chair brand, but as an artistic, whatever, something that comes with wood. Now, you wouldn't go to GPT at the beginning. You can go to GPT, you can do it, it's okay. But don't use that too much, because people can already realize that this is not a human text.
Thing.
It's too good. So anyway, you write a brief about your company. You don't write about you sitting on the beach in Thailand 5 years ago and thinking about it, but you do write about the brand. Now, one thing they do like in retail is seeing like micro brands. We call it the rise of the micro brands. Micro brands that are built on, a small team of 5, 10, 20 people in the office or wherever they are building this. One of them is the artistic side. The other one is the guy for logistics and so forth. So this is like, a good frame of showing your company. But at the end of the day, what you want to show is the brand. What are you selling? Okay, this is the brief. In short, we can go into details, but for now, this is the brief. Second part out of the 6, the second part would be your branding. Now, I divide the branding into 2 parts. The first part is your website. Let's talk about website. A lot of people think like, oh, I'm going to take someone from Fiverr. I'm going to have a website. There's a lot of templates out there. You can use them. They're amazing. Now you can use Midjourney or DALL-E or whatever it is. And even,
in seconds, you have a website.
Make it even beautiful. But there are certain principles in retail that when they look at your website, they could easily understand if you are an Amazon or online seller, or you're someone who is building a real brand. How do they define that? So first of all, do not, by any means, do not write a price, $49, erasing it and write $33.
Typical
do not do that.
Drop shipping tactic.
Right. It's a funnel. This is not a website. It's a funnel. Don't do that. Why don't do that? I mean, you can do it in your funnel, but when it comes to retailer, they look at this, and I'm saying retailers, but actually the buyers, category manager, GMM, SVP, those are the titles. They are the one who look at it and say, okay, this looks like a funnel. It feels like an e-commerce. This is like someone to drag me in to buy it right now because it's on special price, blah, blah, blah. Don't do that. It's your own platform. It's your own place. You're not competing with it. It's not like you sit for 49 and then 33. And then on the other side, your competitor is selling it for 50, right? There's no, like, it's your place. It's your house. It's your kingdom. So that's one small tip, but then you can look at other stuff like stars. A lot of people are putting those 5 Amazon stars on their website as if this was oh wow, it's 5 stars. Come on, man. I mean, even with Trustpilot, you could do things that are not really legit, right? And people know that. So you don't need those 5 stars. You need something more authentic. The main thing that I would use for website is not only to be simple, but also to use a lot of lifestyle. Now, if you have products and you're showing only the products, it's okay. But if you show them in lifestyle way, then it's a whole different story. And if you really want to leverage that, you want to have a video, but not normal video, because most of the vendors would put the video and it's always the same music. I don't know why. Maybe because it's a free music or something.
It's like a template, yeah.
It's like a template, like, oh, again, this tick, 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 tick. No, man, forget that. 3D rendering. This is the best thing to put in your homepage at the first part, on top of everything. Your product, even if it's a shoe, it's a speaker, it's whatever, bananas, you can put them and running, like, circling from side to side in 3D. It doesn't cost too much, but the effect gives the other person like, wow, this was, taken into consideration. Someone thought about this, not just took a video, taking it, from Fiverr or whatever. So anyway, those are small tips, but you can find a lot of information out there about how to do, and this is the key term, retail-oriented. So retail-oriented website, retail-oriented brief, retail-oriented packaging. We'll talk about packaging. That was number 2. Number 3 is the second part of the branding. We said 2 parts. So the first one was website. The second one is the catalog. Make it PDF. Do not do a catalog with Word document.
Or Canvas or something
Excel.
like
that. Right. These are basics, but I'm just saying. Now, here comes the thing. Why the branding are, why is it one topic that is divided into 2? Because both of them has to be under the same language. Now, me and you, we speak English. You speak Italian, I speak Hebrew, I also speak Japanese and Chinese, doesn't matter. But every language has its attributes. Like if you start speaking Italian, for instance, it will be more rolling than English. It will be more, will be more musical, right? The Italian language is more musical than other languages in general, at least the way I feel it. So anyway, you need to have your brand language. And how do you know your language? Well, first of all, you start from the basic, which is the color. And you can go out there on Google and find tons of information about what each and every color transmits. Like if it's, for instance, if it's green, obviously, green products, right? If it's black and white, obviously you're trying to be a little bit more of a class. Plus, there's other meanings as well. So blue, orange, all of these, each and every color has its own like direction and feeling that it gives to the other side. So you want to take that color and build your language from that. Even if you have 2 or 3 colors, it doesn't matter. You still the language. Like look at Benetton, for instance. Benetton didn't want to choose one color. They want to be colorful, but pay attention. All their colors are happy colors. You would not find like
the same tonality.
Or a lazy yellow. The yellow would be, exploding yellow. It wouldn't be lazy, right? That's their language, because they want to transmit like something happy. Why? Because their target audience is around whatever, 18 to 45, not more than that. Means that I cannot buy shirts there anymore. But anyway, so yeah, that was the 3 first parts. The 4th part would be packaging. Now, everybody understands that if you're selling on Amazon a product and people are buying, based on the picture they see on Amazon listing, it's fine. So you can ship it even with a poly bag and nobody cares, right? But it's nicer if someone would get like a box, like you have a box, the product is inside, they can open it. But here's the thing. First of all, cardboard, which is this kind of box, like, cartoon, I would say cardboard. The main picture is this picture. This is a picture of my Logitech camera, my Brio. So this picture, if you ask me, if I would be advising to Logitech, I would never take this as a packaging, because this is
very basic.
This is crap. Right.
Yeah.
Put a nice picture, clear one of the products, and even use a lifestyle one. On the sides, you can use information. Now, here is the thing. If you're doing something like this, and Logitech did it, you're doing the worst thing you could do, because this is your advertising space.
Yeah, and you're wasting it.
Right? Would, I mean, even if I had, an eagle eyes,
nobody's gonna read it. Yeah,
I can't read it. All I see here is icons of Windows. Wow, icons of Windows. That's what I mean, mate. I mean, I paid for that quite a lot of money for this. Freaking camera. Anyway,
it's what the brand does. The branding.
So you have your language already from branding and website. You can implement that into the box, into the packaging. And then if it's a lightweight product and you think that they're going to hang it in the store, and you can find this out on YouTube when you look at your competitors, you will want to add a J hook, right? So they can hang it. But if it's not, then it can just be stuck. or you can use a J-hook, which is foldable, and then they have both options, stacking it on shelf or hanging it on the hanger. So packaging, picture, your logo. It's important to have the logo, and that's it. This is a good thing they do, but I would do it bigger because you're not using the space you have here.
And
so
also one quick question in this, because I think this is very interesting, even for me. I think when it comes to packaging, you may find that a lot of Amazon brands already have that going with the process they send to Amazon, and sometimes the packaging is just not there, retail ready. So in this case, I guess you would advise to these brands to have a different packaging just for retailers, or how will it work in that case?
Well, it's case by case. Up till now, for tons of brands that I did, that I work with, only very few of them we had to go back to the table and redesign a new one. Usually, most of them would not really be brands that are selling in polybag and they are coming from scratch. Even if they do, there are solutions. But as long as you do a good revision in terms of the artwork, not the size, because changing the size is molding. We all know that. Molding means expenses. Expenses means it's going to stuck your process to a longer time, which is fine. I mean, some of the brands telling themselves like, okay, I want to do it 100% well. I want to make my brand like a brand, not an Amazon product, a brand. There's a difference, right? So yeah, you would invest a little bit more.
That's good. Yeah, the reason why I wanted to mention is because I always say that I think regardless of what is your vision for the brand, always make from day zero your packaging retail ready, because if the brand goes very well, then you're ready to run into stores. So
exactly.
Good.
Exactly.
Awesome.
And then the fifth and sixth part are going together. We're talking about competition and pricing. So competition, I mean, when you look at competition, let's say on Walmart, it's quite easy. And you also have external tools to have it, softwares to monitor everything. And you know that every product that is being sold there is being sold by some competitor of yours. But when it comes to stores, you see products on their marketplace, but you don't know for sure if the same products are also in stores.
Yeah.
Right? Right? Like Walmart. Walmart has tens of thousands of stores across the world, but you don't know what from their website sells also in stores. Now I know. How do I know? Because I know the buyers, and I can tell you that you can know that as well. Here is a great tip. It's actually a secret that I'm going to give you now.
That's good. I got a nugget.
Here's the thing. If they are selling more than $80,000 a month on Walmart, they are being brought to the stores. How do you know how much they sell on Walmart? You see what's their ranking, and the tools and the ranking. Plus, when you take a brand and you Google it, you would know by the results if this is also an offline brand. How you would know that? If it's an online brand, all the results will be eBay, Amazon, Walmart, anywhere that they can sell and drop shippers can sell. But if you are seeing something more extensive like Costco, Target, and then Macy's, Bloomingdale, Urban Outfitters, if the results are those, then okay, you start to understand that this
retail
is
focus.
Right. And this is what you want to look at. This is the competitor you want to look at. You don't want to look at the online competitor. You don't care about them. You want to look at those who are smart enough to go to retail. And when you do that, you first want to know their pricing. So if they're selling on Macy's and they sell for $100, probably Macy's is buying for $50 from them, because this is what the markup is for Macy's.
Yeah.
But it's not the same thing for Nordstrom. Nordstrom would buy between 35 to 55 markup on each and every product. Okay. But in average, 50% of the MSRP, the retail price, would be the wholesale price. So you already know some of their pricing. Now you could guess because you know how much it costs in China and the landed cost. And if you see additional attributes, you can also guess what their cost is. Okay, so you can start comparing stuff, saying, okay, what if I want to change my packaging to something absolutely amazing? I want to add $3 to the cost. I don't care, but I want to have something wow.
Yeah.
Then you look back at the competitor pricing and say, wait a second. If I do that, my cost is going to be $29, $30, while to my calculation, he's buying it for 22. And if he's buying it for 22 and I'm buying it for 30, I will not be able to compete his pricing, right?
Yeah.
Will it worth it to make this move or not? Okay. Plus, you can also go to YouTube and start typing names of brands plus unboxing. Like if you find a brand, their name, let's say, is Fish Mindset. I'm just looking at the picture behind you.
Yeah.
Fish Mindset tools. Okay, whatever. Then you write the name plus unboxing, and then you see people that are doing those home videos, taking those products to home, unboxing it. Then you see the packaging of your competitor, and you see the attributes, and you see what's good or bad about it, and you know what you need to do to be in the game. Okay.
Yeah.
That was the competition. So it goes together with pricing. Now you understand why, because then you understand the pricing.
Yeah.
Pricing in general, you have 2 times of multiplying by 2, meaning if my product costs me, say, $12 in China,
Okay.
$13, by the time it gets to the warehouse in USA, either Jersey, LA, Miami, wherever it is, the price would be, let's say, just for the example, $15.
Okay.
If my LBP, landed cost, some people call it COG, cost of goods, would be $15, I want to sell it wholesale for 30. I want to double.
Okay.
But the 30 means that the retailer would need to do 60 for the consumer.
Okay. Interesting.
Got it? So 15, 30, 60. But this is the benchmark. From here, we start to play. Like if you go and work with TJ Maxx, because they are off price, they would ask the $60 product, they were asked to buy it for approximately between $16 to $18 because they work on around 25 to 30% off of MSRP.
Okay.
But if you go to companies like Urban Outfitter, they would pay flat half, $30, no questions. Okay, it differs. Basically, the rules are, as I mentioned, 15, 30, 60. But when it comes to off-price retailers, the pricing, the wholesale price have to go down because they have to be competitive, and because they have the volume, of course.
Yeah.
These are the 6 tools you want when you consider retail. I mean, this is very general, right? I can talk hours about it.
I know. Yeah. I appreciate it. I mean, thank you very much for sharing that. Yeah, I think this is so useful. You mentioned so many things that people will not think about, like, everything that you mentioned on the website and the branding, and now even the price. I didn't know they would do the twice rule that you just mentioned. Is crazy. But I think another question now just comes to my mind straight away after this is basically, let's say a brand has all this into their hands, like they're meeting the criteria in terms of branding and so on. I would say that maybe, and you can clarify this for the audience, that some of the challenges that you could encounter is how to convince these retailers, even after having this criteria, because maybe you need to show them that you're already selling certain volume outside of those retailers. You need to show them some history of the brand. So besides all of this, do they actually want to see like a long history of the brand? Like it needs to be on the market for 2-3 years already. You need to have certain volume, or sometimes you see brand new brands that because they have an amazing product, they jump in straight away.
Well, you see both. Some of them are asking a lot of questions. I just had these questions from Bass Pro last night. One brand that they want to go to the stores, but a lot of retailers don't really care if you're there for a year, 5 or 10, because at the end of the day, if you have good products and it fits the stores, that's all they need, I mean, right. They're not taking risks because, hey, payment terms in retail space is always net plus. They get the goods and then you start to count 10, 20, 30 days until you see your money. So there's no risk on their side. The only risk for them is to work with someone who's not aware of how retail works, and then it's going to cost them with a lot of work and hassle, but that's not a big risk, right? But it's still something to consider. That's why some of the vendors, those who are working with us, they want us to be in the process, and we are in the process when it comes to vendors, because you have to know what to answer, how to play the game, what are the terms. Sometimes you get an email like, I just posted on my WhatsApp group earlier. I have a group of retail tips, that I got an email from this from not from Basketball, from REI, and if you look at it as a non-retail person, you would like, what is this, English, Chinese, what is this? Like, you don't know what is written there. So many terms.
Confusing.
I, as a person who works more than 20 years in retail, still was struggling with this email because like the terms were like,
Crazy.
flying through the roof, as if you were born to another language.
Wow.
So yeah, but as long as your products are interesting
Okay.
for them, and so yeah, that's the main thing.
Good.
And you have to keep in mind, like, you don't necessarily have to be that special. I mean, obviously, if you come up with super common product, it will be harder.
Yeah, like a garlic press. Yeah.
Exactly. But still, surprisingly, some very common products that I would even define them as commodities because they're so common. They're still selling in retail as well because vendors are leaving, closing, moving,
You have
problems,
better,
whatever.
you have better
Right. There's
pricing,
always
things
there are
like that.
always holes in the retail where you can, find your
Enter.
niche and go inside.
Good. And now on top of all this, I think one challenge that maybe you see a lot, and this is something that I bet any brand that jump into retail could struggle, is that, as you mentioned, the payment terms. You need to basically finance all the inventory by yourself and have the
That's
muscle
true.
in terms of cash to
That's
wait
true.
1 month, 2 months before getting some money back to keep ordering. So I think, can you share some of that and how it
Yes.
works?
So
Because it can be difficult for some people to keep up with the orders from retailers without having the money, actually. Yeah.
that's true. So when you do retail, obviously you're trying to do it the same way you do any other business in the world. You go step by step. I remember myself 6 or 7 years ago, I was supposed to get a huge order from Starbucks. Now,
Okay.
this was the first time I worked with them. I sent them a prototype based on their cup, but I just made that cup that the top part was a Bluetooth speaker and the bottom
Okay.
was a power bank. Something
Okay.
really beautiful. They loved it. They wanted to take it to the whole national store, coffee stores
Wow, that's big.
across the US. And I didn't take the order because I thought, hey,
It's
I mean,
risky.
the order value was, I think 4 or 5 times more than what we've been doing a
Wow.
year.
Wow.
So I was like, I mean, I could be making a lot of money here, but I could be crushing my ass and, paying for this mistake my whole life. And I
Yeah.
thought, like, I had a lot of good chunk of orders, and I thought, like, okay, I'm not taking this. It's too risky. So I
Step
asked
by
them,
step. Yeah.
I asked them to start with lower quantities, and they just wouldn't agree. So we just left it there.
Yeah,
Just like
because
that.
worst case scenario, if you put all the money and then the cup doesn't sell, it's on you then. Yeah.
No, that's not a problem. That's not the
Okay.
problem because this is not consignment. As long as you sold it to
Okay.
them, that's it. It's on them to sell.
Okay.
But there are other things in the process. Let me give you an example. First of all, you want to grow in terms of finance. It's hard to finance. So okay, you can find a factor. There are a lot of factors. Factors are companies that knows what's happening in retail. They can finance your orders A to Z, from China's production facility up to the point where it's in the retailer warehouse and you need to wait. They can finance everything. That's not a big deal. But then as a company, you don't want to grow from $10 to 1 million, right? Because this is going to kill your business. The load of work you're going to have, the load of tents you're going to have, everything. But anyway, I had an order with Macy's at the same time that I had that one with Starbucks. Now, Macy's wanted to put an order of $1.5 million. And I said, guys, this is too much. I'm scared. Can we do it lower? And they were saying, yeah, we're fine. We went back and forth, back and forth. We ended up doing $850,000 order. I think that was the number, more or less. And because of all the things that were happening in my business, and I was working, as I mentioned before, with 60 retailers back at those days. Right now, we're working with 250 retailers, but it was different. I was just in my beginning. 60 retailers. My desk is like, crushing for more. I ended up with chargebacks because of labels mistakes, shipping mistakes, ASN mistake, acknowledged shipping notice, all those small things, logistic stuff
that you didn't account for. Yeah,
I ended up paying more than $60,000 just for the chargebacks.
Wow,
just for that. So if that was my good alert saying, hey, if something like that gonna happen with Starbucks,
Imagine.
you might
You
end
gone
up.
forever. Gone forever.
I mean, you could get like easy $1 million charges easily. And that
Yeah.
was when I had 12 girls working with me in a New York office, and they were experts, but still the chargeback came. So anyway,
Wow, that's yeah,
it's a
that's a good
step-by-step
story.
business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good. Amazing. So now I think to start concluding today's episode, I think I want to bring to the table retailing part because I know that's what you do on a daily basis, and I know a lot of people may ask themselves, okay, I feel I'm checking some of these boxes, and maybe I want to reach out to your team and work with you. So maybe give us a little bit about how the process looks like, and
Yes,
give us
of
some
course.
insights. Yeah.
Right. So our process is quite simple. We do the sales part. We take a brand, we look at it, we start thinking like, where is it going to match? Where is it not going to match? And we have a model of subscription because we've been working with a lot of Amazon sellers during the years. And we kind of understood that the best model would be working on subscription model. That means that you're running into a link that I will obviously give you later.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
that link is like describing it. The name of the service is Sales Tube. And because this is the tube for sales, that's what we do.
Yeah,
and then we divide those sales effort into three parts. We take the brand, we make sure that everything is in place, catalog, the website. If you need anything, you're getting all the material from me and from my team, videos and everything that is included in the subscription. And basically, we also work on based on percentage because the subscription is just meant for some expenses on our side, which I will explain. But our goal is to have orders and commissions, because if we don't have that, then we can close the business. Yeah. Anyway, 3 layers of sales. This is what we do. The first layer is me and my partner from Canada. We are walking through a list of almost 3,000 buyers that we work with on a daily basis. These are buyers that we know. We know them. We either had order with them recently or right now having or going to have. So when we email those buyers, they know where we come from. But we cannot just, send like massive emails to them because it's going to destroy the business. So we have to go picking one by one to choose them and see which one are matching to which brand, and then make the match. And if they don't, then we have to pull the strings asking, hey, can you get me talk with the HBC buyer, health and beauty, or can you talk me, can I have the toys buyer, please? And I'm getting response because they know me. So that's the first layer, and this is what takes most of the efforts in my business. If I could automate that, I would probably could skip 50% of my day at work.
Wow.
This is taking all my time.
The relationships, basically. Yeah.
Relationship and sorting the list in a way that I couldn't wake up in the morning, look at the brand and think like, oh, I know who it's gonna match. I mean, there's 3,000 buyers. I have to sit there and think like, will this match Neiman Marcus or Lord and Taylor or Bass Pro or whatever, or Dick's Sporting Goods? Anyway, second thing we do, and this is what my team are doing. They take the brand and they start looking for match in terms of the special channels. Now, special channels is the marketplaces, Walmart.com, Costco.com, HomeDepot.com, and so on and so on. Not Amazon. We're not doing Amazon by any means. I have no idea about Amazon.
Okay.
Other special channels we work with are TV segments, like Good Morning America at ABC channel. Awesome. We work with HSN, QVC, and some other segments like that. We work with a few magazines, media companies, and local wholesalers across the states. So these are the special channels. This is what my team is doing. I'm on top of it, obviously, but they do it. They do the match. Subscription boxes as well, by the way. We spoke about subscription boxes. This is an amazing industry of, millions of dollars in subscription. If you don't know what subscription boxes are, you have to Google that. This is amazing. But we won't talk about it. It's a whole podcast that we could talk about.
For sure, we need to do another one just about that one. I'm interested about that.
Exactly, yes. And the third thing we do on sales, I mentioned, you see, it's always numbered. 6 blocks for the retail readiness. Now it's 3 for the sales. So the third thing we do, we are running tons of softwares to reach out to more retailers. Right now, we work with as I mentioned, about 250 more or less retailers. And we know that there are almost 30,000, as I mentioned before. So I know that I'm, far from being in the whole market. And when I take a brand, I don't want to sell it to 3 or 4 retailers. I want to, I want to splash it all over the place. And for
Mm-hmm.
doing that, I have to reach out to more retailers. So what we do, we're running a lot of softwares that are first reaching out to prospects, getting
Yeah.
us the prospect, not reaching out, getting us the prospects. Like we're checking like who is the buyers that we need, what's their email addresses and so forth. Then we have other softwares that are doing the reach out, sending the email upon us. And then we have a lot of hundreds of email inboxes because we don't use services like MailChimp.
Yeah.
We don't sell hot emails, only cold emails, one by one. By that, not only we're not spammers, but also we get,
Personalizing.
personal. Exactly. Yeah. So I have a team dedicated for that because when you send approximately between 80 to 100,000 emails a day, you're gonna get thousands of emails back. So you have to sort them down. Like, where's the gold? What's gonna go to the garbage? Where's the gold? So that's what we do. So these are the 3 layers that are included in our sales tube channel. That's what we do.
That's awesome. Thank you, Talor. I appreciate that. So I'm gonna make sure for sure to put all your links down in the description so people can reach out and get in contact with you and your team. I'm pretty sure a lot of people is gonna find this very interesting because we don't really talk about getting to retail often, and I think it's huge when it comes to scaling your business forward. So it's been a pleasure, Talor. I'm sure I'm gonna have you again in the future. And in the meantime,
one more last thing. Yeah. One more last thing before I go. I almost forgot about it. So coming up soon, around March, I think, I'm gonna launch with a team of very famous names from USA. I can't say the names right now, but very famous ones. You all know them. We're going to launch, besides what we do, we're going to launch a masterclass, which is gonna be something huge. That is gonna include our contacts that we're gonna give away. Okay.
Good.
So
Can't wait. Thank you. I'm gonna put that as well. Thank you, Talor. It's been a pleasure. Yeah. Thank you for
having me today.
It's been a pleasure.
Appreciate it.